This is BMI Redefined with Jen and Mo.
All right.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
Yay! To BMI Redefined with
Jen.
and Mo. So we have so much to talk to you about today. This is part 2 of the retreat that I attended this last weekend, My Bariatric Kitchen and Living Healthy Nutrition. But before I say anything with that, in the live Facebook post yesterday, I mentioned 2 names, and I wanted to kind of go into those names a little bit. My bariatric surgeon was Christopher Egan at Barnes Jewish, and his phone number is 314-454-7224. His last name is Eagon. He is the best. And there are other great surgeons, of course, bariatric surgeons in the St. Louis area, but he is one that I had great success with. And the other person, I did have skin removal, and his name is Dr. C.B. Boswell. I have in my thing BC Boswell. Is that before Christ?
Yeah, there's
Okay. He would get a kick out of that, yeah. But anyway, it's C.B. Boswell, and he is with Body Aesthetics and Plastic Surgery, and his number is 314-628-8200. And he has 2 great ladies that help him out tremendously and who helped me out. Jamie Archer, she's an RN, BSN, and patient coordinator. And then there's Melissa Skillen, medical assistant and surgical technician. And Melissa and Jamie were phenomenal. And I did have some complications with my surgery, but my complications were always the minor ones. But there were many minor ones that made it to seem like it was like a big issue. It was a big issue, but it was the little things. And it's nothing, everything that happened to me was something that they have already seen, and they made me feel comfortable and calm because I can be a little anxious sometimes.
Yeah, no comment. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's true. It's true. But I would walk in and I would be a wreck, and they'd be like, okay, so, we've seen this before. Not very often, this one thing, but we've dealt with it. It'll be fine. You'll be good. And I was like, phew, And that was really with both surgeons too. I mean, they really know how to calm you.
Well, that's comforting.
It is.
And that they're giving you confidence.
It is.
About the whole procedure.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. When I went in for the procedures, not for the procedures, but when I went in to interview, because I interviewed many doctors, and these are the 2 that I landed on. But when I went into the interviews, and pretty much every surgeon did this, I would get a packet of information, and I would be sent home, and I would have to go through the packet and see if that was for me, to see if that was a good fit and a good choice for me. And if it was, and they told me right away, especially the plastic surgeon, Dr. Boswell, if this does not fit what you need right now, then we wait. Or, you wait, and we'll do it when you are ready. Because both surgeries are so mind game big time. And if you don't have the psychological, stuff behind you, like, seeing a therapist or whatever to help prepare you for these surgeries, forget it. I mean, it's because you're just going to put the weight back on.
Right.
Because you need that help.
Well, and something we're talking about today too, Mo, is the whole idea of mindset, which we talk about fitness-wise anyway, but this has its own specific mindset through this whole process. And even now, you talked about that over the weekend as well, from what you said.
Right. Yeah. And it was, and so the whole weekend going into this whole, bariatric, wonderful place where all these women, and I think there are a couple of men in this, and but the whole kitchen and living healthy nutrition and the psychology behind it and the exercise science behind it. I mean, you have to hit it from all 3, right?
Exactly.
And you're my exercise, guru. Yeah. So I called you the other day and I said, I'm treading water for 20 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes.
And you're like, yes, that's fine. So there's so much information, so much good information.
Yeah.
I just don't even know where to start. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a poem. No, I'm going to read something that I'm putting up in my bathroom. I love this stuff though. I put stuff up in my bathroom all the time. You can climb this hill. You know,
I do the same thing.
Right?
I have, my husband would verify this. So on the bathroom mirror, I have whatever my fitness goals. I have our podcast series on this list of goals. I have my credits that I'm working on for getting my continuing education. I have my lifting goals. I have my fitness goals. All that's on there with like little hearts and stuff next to it.
Do you have it typed up or do you have it written in lipstick on your mirror?
It is written in Sharpie on paper
that's
taped to my mirror.
Of course it's not Sharpie because you don't type anything out. You always scratch it out. You always write it out. She has her scratch pad sitting right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
I told you I wasn't going to rustle papers. But
Just did.
Yep.
So the poem that it's Kristen Musa, right? Kristen Lloyd Musa. Yes. I just want to make sure I get her name correct. Yes. And so she put this up on her. She was the psychotherapist. I will care for myself and others as a measure of self-worth. I will be involved. I will accept myself. I will make healthy choices. I will exercise regularly and sensibly. I will view mistakes and poor choices as learning experiences and recognize that no one is perfect. Oh, no, I'm teasing. I will focus on the present. I will use a positive attitude to enhance self-control. And I will focus on my health first because I am important.
Love it.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
I know. And it's just like all these little nuggets throughout the whole thing, you know. And she also brought up, like, you know, what is your current perspective of yourself?
Well, that feeds right into what we were talking about all along.
Right. And it really shows us, it shows us that we really do have a strong perception of ourselves. And sometimes that perception is very skewed, right? Mm-hmm. Or it can be.
It can be.
Unless you make that into a positive perception.
Well, you and I talked about this kind of early on about when we look in the mirror, what do our eyes gravitate toward?
Right.
You know, you and I talked about that in a previous podcast. And so I think everybody has inclinations toward that. Even the person that says, oh, I don't have any idiosyncrasies or anything that I have about myself to make me think that I'm not what other people are seeing. I think we all see ourselves a little differently than what others see us. Don't you think?
I think so. Of course we do, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, you know, this just kind of popped into my head, but, you know, it's interesting because why are we with the people we are with? What do they see in us that we don't see? You know, because their perspective is different than in our perspective is different of them than probably what they see themselves, because we, you know, it's easy to say, to currently think, you know, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I'm a loser. I'm worthless. I can't do anything right. This is part of Kristen Moose's thing, that you have to take that self-talk and turn it around to make it more positive. And, you know, what can you automatically change these thoughts to? That when you think, okay, I'm really a loser today, well, you have to think of that paradigm shift. And I really love that what she talked about, the paradigm shift. Shift.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, Mo.
I know. Sorry. Everyone. But she says everyone has a set of assumptions that they've developed throughout their lives. And boy, is that true.
That is so true.
And those assumptions can either really mess you up or bring you to a place where you recognize that and say, okay, these are not all true people. Come on. You know.
They're just assumed.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So, I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Well, I love the whole idea of paradigm shift, as you said, because, you know, that moves into what we talked about, kind of the pivot idea, too. You know, as far as how do we see ourselves? What are we working on? And we talked about like during the pandemic and all that kind of stuff going on, but just in general, how do we see ourselves? What's our perceptions and our perspectives? What do we think other people are seeing? And then how do we shift or pivot in such a way to where we're seeing what we really should be seeing in ourselves, the positives.
Yeah.
Everybody has something positive, Mo. Everybody has something positive.
They do. Yes. Of course.
Thinking of a few.
Yeah, right.
One came to mind just now, but we're going down the political
We're going to the exactly. Okay. So now we're going to shift this to like a nutritional thing and talk about some meal planning and things like that. But I'm going to let you take over because you know more about this part than I do. That's why I got you in my life.
Well, Mo, you're studying to become a certified nutritionist through all this too. So, it really, like we were talking about in the live yesterday, how it's all a cohesive relationship, between the fitness side and the psychology side and the meal side. It all works together. And so one thing that we brought up originally when we started this podcast series was the whole idea of body mass index. Right. And John talked about that, Mr. very low percentage body fat.
And John is my
trainer.
Your trainer.
Yes,
okay, just wanted to put that out there, right?
Yes. And so, very low body fat percentage, but when these people have in the fitness industry, a lot of us have low body fat percentages, but our BMIs are escalated because it's not measuring. I mean, it's the ratio of weight and height.
Right.
I mean, it's really not measuring anything like from as far as your fitness life is going or your meal planning, that kind of thing. And so did some research on that, like we talked about in previous podcasts, and come to find out it was developed over 100 years ago by an astronomer. And it really was for just a data study for census. It really was not for what people are using it for, as some type of measure. Right. So we get into the BFP or body fat percentage, which is something that we can measure and keep up with. And what's our base metabolic rate? Okay, so that's all the chemical activities, what's going on in your body to sustain life while your body's at rest. Okay, so it's a base rate. So then you look at increasing activities, and then we start talking about what nutrients, what macronutrients, the proteins, the fats, the carbs come into play for energy production and burning, okay, and utilizing our muscles. And are we looking at for muscle growth? Are we looking at burning calories? What are we looking at? What's our goal? Right. And so all of those kind of come together cohesively, and that's what you were learning about this weekend.
And that's what I was learning about this weekend, and that's what she does is I signed up for my Bariatric Kitchen Monthly, which is MBK Monthly is what it's called. And I signed up for the entire year. You can sign up. I think you can sign up a month at a time or for 6 months. I don't know. You'd have to kind of figure that out. But she does, if you sign up for MBK Monthly, you can have like a one-on-one with her and talk about what your base is. And she kind of helps you figure that out. And then you get a meal plan, which I have in front of me. And with the meal plan, you can also do you could do a macro and a keto. And the macro she has, it's called Simply Macro, or I think that's what it's called. But that's just like for an individual. And then, or she has like the basic macro, which is you can prepare for your whole family. So she has the recipes there for you so that they are family oriented and they taste good. And it's not just like, okay, I think I'll have, a rice cake with a scoop of cottage cheese on top. No, these are like these recipes. Hold on a second.
Looking at those recipes, they are amazing.
So I know. Where did I put those? Oh, here they are.
Yeah.
So you get the meal plan, you get the shopping list, and you get all of these recipes. And let me just name.
What's that cilantro?
Where did they go? Did you took them?
Did take them? You have them.
You took them because you want them. Where did they go?
They were in your stack.
They were in my stack.
That's cilantro. Well, you can read off from the, where's your meal plan sheet?
Oh, yeah. Here they are.
Yeah.
Cilantro, lime, black bean,
Yes.
shrimp skillet.
There was a shrimp skillet. Yeah, that sounds right.
Garlic parm turkey meatballs, marinades. Now, these are for all macros, so because that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing the keto.
Okay.
Ranch chicken bacon cheddar, strawberry cottage cheese, which sounds good.
Yeah.
And then what she does is she takes these recipes and she puts them to a keto. And if you don't, and someone in the group said they didn't like cottage cheese, so you can put then use oatmeal. I mean, she's got, and then if you feel like you look at the list and you're like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. She has so many meal substitutes, and she creates it. This is Patricia Hill. She creates it where it will fit your needs.
Nice. And be family friendly.
And be family friendly.
Yeah.
Because my guy, he could be on this too.
Well,
I'm not saying anything, but he's not. And the thing is that Andy does not have a weight problem, and that's great. But could he be eating healthier? Absolutely. And that's what she said. She said it's not necessarily about okay, if you want to get some weight off, that's great. But the ultimate goal is to be healthy rather than to be worrying about the scale. And that's what this food is providing me with. I feel like I don't mind eating healthy. I love eating healthy. I just don't know what to make and what to do because I haven't done probably the studying I should have done. But it's not too late.
No.
And I have wonderful things here, recipes. Like let me just take a look at this recipe from it, the cilantro lime black bean.
That looks amazing.
So large shrimp, you have to join to get the official recipe, so I'm not going through the whole thing. But it has large shrimp, pepper, olive oil, shallots, garlic, quinoa, chicken stock, lime juice, black beans, chopped cilantro. I mean, it's just all fresh ingredients. Yeah, go ahead.
Could I add something? So
yes,
I have people in my life who have some shellfish allergies. Not me personally, but we could adapt that for maybe chicken too, or maybe some type of fish along the way.
Yeah, and
I think she said that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, she has a packet in here that I got from the retreat.
Like just use a different form of protein.
Yeah,
or something like that. Okay,
it's totally fine.
Yeah,
I mean it's so good stuff.
That's awesome
for you. And
love it.
And finding the balance and seriously, and I'm not joking, the problem that I have is the meal prepping because I never really had the quote unquote time. But now that I've been in the situation of having so much time, I really do have time to prep. It's just an excuse not to.
Well, a lot of us do the meal prep like a Sunday evening for the week or after you have a family dinner in the middle of the day or earlier on Sundays. For some of us, that works. Other days work as well. That gives you an opportunity just to kind of plan out at least a couple of days on what you're going to be consuming.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really, nutrition matters. I mean, it just does. And you can't have this surgery, and it's not just this surgery. You can't have a healthy weight and healthy weight loss or however you want to do it without proper nutrition. You're not going to you might lose weight if you get a grilled chicken sandwich at McDonald's every day, but it's not the healthiest thing, right?
Right. That
you're feeding into your body. You might disagree with that. I saw disapproval.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just thinking of a story of somebody who there have been different restaurant chains have talked about that kind of thing through the years, where somebody ate XYZ every day at the same time for 6 months and lost such amount of weight or whatever, but then they didn't keep it off. When they went back to just eating regular. So the point, the takeaway is learning what you're saying and what Patricia's teaching about is doing a healthy eating plan that's also tasty, that has some attractiveness to it. You're more likely to stick with it. And
I forgot to tell you this too. At this retreat, she goes through and teaches you the details of My Fitness Pal So in
yeah.
my fitness pal, I understand now, okay, here are my macros, the proteins, the fats, the carbs, and how many I need, and how many I need to do this in order to do this. And I mean, it's great. It's just great. So yeah, that's what I forgot to say too.
That's excellent information.
And tracking my water.
Yes, absolutely. Hydration.
And tracking my
coffee. Sorry.
I have a headache today, and it's not because of coffee. Thank you for the coffee, by the way.
You're welcome.
That's really nice.
That's good.
It's good. And but yeah, my fitness pal. What else was I going to talk to you about? Oh, and the water. Oh yeah, and she has this infused water. I put cucumbers and lime in it. Oh,
you let me try that today.
Wasn't it good? And you know what made it good is I used the Himalayan pink salt. I used to put a little bit in there, and that was really good.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's the little thing. I mean, what we're kind of pointing out is it makes a big picture of a whole healthy lifestyle plan, but it's the little individual pieces that make up that puzzle. You know?
It is. And I will always, always, always have a difficult time getting exercise in.
That's what I'm here for.
I know.
I'm literally right here. We're in the same room again.
Yeah, we're sitting apart though.
We are 6 feet.
Yeah. But
yes.
Well, maybe 5.5.
Something like that.
5.5. But we are. No, I don't have a tape measure. I don't have a tape. Judy has a tape measure. She always has a tape measure. My mother-in-law.
That's good.
Yeah, she has the cloth one, the old one from the sewing. From the old sewing stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
I keep one of those in my.
I love
bag.
those. Yeah. I love them. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, yeah. So anyway, that has nothing to do with anything, but that's why we're here.
So there was something that we were going to talk about. Well, what do you want to talk about next? Because we were going to talk about some of the D word a little bit too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that right now. I'll get that out.
Okay.
Do you want to preface it while I open up to the page?
So we talk about meal plans and eating plans and meal prep and nutrition and all that. But all of us, I know, talk about ages or anything, but grew up with the word, and we still hear it and people use it, of the D word, the diet word. And that's not what we're here to talk about.
Do you know what?
What?
That's a 4-letter word.
Yes, Mo. It is a 4-letter word. So, but there are risks associated. If somebody says, "Oh, I'm going on a diet," well, my radar perks up. Like I get on to clients about doing this. It's not a diet; it's an eating plan. It's a lifestyle. It's a healthy lifestyle that we're working to build.
Right.
And so, but there are so many risks that are associated with people going on fad diets or very low calorie diets, and things like being intolerant to maladies like colds and viruses and that kind of thing, and even dehydration, diarrhea can be part of blood sugar imbalances. I mean, there's so many things. There's heart irregularity. You can even have headaches, gallstone, kidney disease. So many things that can happen because you just decided you're going to have a very low calorie diet to knock off a few pounds or whatever. That weight's not going to stay off. No. Well, and I did it last week. You're probably going to be ill while you're trying to lose that weight, and you're going to be in a bad mood. And I'm just saying you rhetorically, not you, but rhetorically, anybody who tries this.
No, but I did. I did this like maybe 2 weeks ago. I told Andy, I said, I'm taking 2 days and I'm fasting. I'm not eating anything. And he just goes, and he walks into the other room.
I would too.
Because he's like, yeah.
I got 48 hours.
Right, exactly. So I said, so if I'm a little crabby, just know. And he's probably thinking, yeah, more crabby than usual, but that's okay. No comment. And so he, so yeah. So the other night, so when I was doing it, I was making dinner for everybody. And he goes, and I'm in the refrigerator, and I got a carrot. And of course, typical Andy timing. He walks into the kitchen. What you doing? I said, I'm having a carrot. It's like the carrot's in my mouth. I thought you were fasting. I said, I am. I'm allowing myself fruits and vegetables. And he goes, okay. And he turns around and walks upstairs. He knows. He knows not to ask. I mean, he knows to ask, but he knows not to make a comment.
Yeah. To
It was
inquire, but not
to
have a
inquire.
follow-up.
Right, exactly. So I was just like, oh, well, that was okay. Fail. No, but that's what I can't look at it as a fail. I have to look at it as okay. But what was the failure is that after 2 days of sneaking in some vegetables and fruits and not really eating, not keeping up with my water, drinking coffee, having basically nothing in my body. I got on the scale 2 days later and I was down 4.5, 5 pounds. But then 3 days later, it went right back up. So that just proved to me. And I think I have to do stuff like that sometimes just to prove to myself. Like, I'm never going to do that again. And then this here came and happened, this mind-blowing retreat virtual thing with all these fabulous people. Mm-hmm. And, and now I have a community mm-hmm. that I can talk to about this stuff so that I don't fast again. Right. And that I don't have these issues because I'm starving myself or whatever, right.
Well, you have a community, then you have a bond.
Right.
You all have a similar experience.
And I just made friends with someone on there, and she's like, she's in Connecticut. And it's like, do you want to be buddies? So we're going to be like MBK buddies. I mean, this is what I need.
Well, accountability partner.
Accountability partner. Yeah. Right, exactly. Accountability. And that's how I feel that we are with each other.
Yeah, we are with each other.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be, like this afternoon, I'm going to have some friends over. We're going to be social distancing. We're out in the back. And I'm just going to tread water.
Mm-hmm. Good.
For
That's
like 20 minutes.
That's good.
And and my friend will be on the other side and he'll tread water and we'll be talking because he wants to know all about my weekend and my successful weekend and everything. And so we're just going to talk about it. He's more of a keto guy, but that's okay. But I'm just really excited about that. And I'm excited that that I just found something new, Yeah. To keep me motivated.
Well, and I think it's exactly...
And that's what it is, motivation, right?
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
And can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
How do you keep motivated? Because you are so fit. How do you keep motivated? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Ah, you did. That's good, though. Well, to me, it comes back to kind of mindset. Mm-hmm. It's like when you wake up each morning, you figure out what you're going to do that day. It becomes kind of, just something that happens immediately. Well, what time's my workout?
Right.
What do I need to eat? What are my goals for the day? What tasks do I have to do? When will I be where? Of course, lately I'm usually at home, but now I'm starting to get out more. And that planning, but staying motivated really comes down to how do I feel? Because after I was able to shred down some weight this past year and a little bit recently, and because my knees were starting to be kind of achy.
And did you say you had a little issue with your ankle the other day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And so I noticed, and and then I thought about, well, the day before I probably had more salt than I should have. I had a little inflammation going on, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So just I'd say it's a day-to-day motivation strategy, really. It's not like overall. I've tried putting the whole month of days up on my mirror. With exercise and routines out, I have my little journal, wake up and work out and all that. Yeah, no. So I'm more of a take it a day at a time. Actually, my speaking business I call one at a time.
Right.
Just one my training business. One at a time.
I mean, when I work with people and everything, they're like, "Oh, you need to do the SMART goals and you need to do these and everything." And what is your 5-10-year goal? What is your 5-year goal? What is your 1-year goal? I'm like, honey, I'm just trying to find my day goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have a vision, of course, of what you want.
Well,
that is true, right?
It is good to have a vision of where you want to be, what you want to be doing, and work toward that.
Absolutely.
Your certification,
absolutely,
and extra certifications that we're working on, and all that, and that's good. And the books and things the projects we work on, but also just on a day-to-day basis, that's a motivation. I don't want to say challenge, but it's a strategy that you have to actively implement each day. And a lot of it, Mo, is how are you feeling? It's not the numbers on the scale. It's not any metrics. It's how do you perceive yourself when you pass by a mirror or whatever, and you think, oh, my hair looks kind of cute today, whatever.
Mhm.
Not today, but anyway, there's a reason we're not doing visual.
Right. Yeah, today, right?
It was kind of that you see what you get kind of thing.
Right.
But how do you feel?
Yeah, like when
you
I
perceive yourself.
because, and here's the thing, because even though I've, lost a ton of weight or whatever, I've crept up a little bit, but even when I pass a store, a mirror, whatever, I think I look and I have to sometimes double take because I'm expecting this hanging stomach, but it's gone.
It's gone.
Thank you, Dr. Boswell. But the thing is that it, I kind of have to take a double look and I'm like, whoa, okay, is that really me? And it's like I can't beat myself up for things that I'm doing to my body because I'm really not doing anything really bad to my body. My body is more nutrient filled right now, probably the most it's ever been in my life. Could I be moving more? Absolutely. Could I be maybe not have that cookie or not have that, couple bites of cake or whatever? Yeah, probably not. But sometimes you need something. Sometimes you can't deprive yourself of everything.
No.
But with so far that I've been doing this MBK thing, my bariatric kitchen, I have really felt filled and fulfilled.
Good.
And I get excited about it. I get excited about, that whole journey and like, okay, I can look forward to that little sweet thing tonight that I made because it's already prepared and it's in the refrigerator, And I think that's a thing too that we kind of talked about in this program. What excites you about the goals? What excites you about whatever to help make that motivation work?
Well, yeah, and I talk about like when in motivational speaking or whatever, I talk about the little successes, the little victories.
Yeah.
And it's not. It doesn't have to be some huge milestone.
No. And I think sometimes we just want to have it all or nothing.
Right. And that's not the attitude to have, especially when we're working on becoming healthier.
Right. And knowing that we're worth it. Just to kind of bring it back to that,
exactly
to bring it back and to bring back the poem because I am important.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. What do you think?
I think this has been very educational, fun, awesome time. I'm so excited about the experiences that you've had and are having, and I look forward to going forward with you on all this.
So we'll see how this all works out. Yeah. Whew.
And you just used the word workout. Works out, work. Yeah, I like that.
You're such a nerd.
Workout.
It is. It is. Nerd. Actually, I'm going to teach. I teach private voice, so I'm going to teach from virtually from 1 to 3 today, and then I'm going to get into the water and tread water today at 3:15 until whenever. It might be longer since I have a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. I had to put some sunscreen on. It's going to be 90s today.
Whoa.
I think. Yeah. Here in St. Louis.
I should get outside.
Yeah. Well, good. Okay. Do you think we should just say something that our hearts are going out right now to what's happening in St. Louis?
I think so.
To the Black community and the police, and just to hope that everyone can be peaceful and please feel the need to protest, and to feel the need to keep everybody safe, but do it in harmony.
Yeah, I like that, in harmony.
Because it's not. It was a terrible thing that happened, and people need to be able to express themselves.
Yes.
And grieve
in a non-violent way.
Right.
Express themselves and grieve over what's happened. So it's we keep talking about a day at a time, a new day kind of thing. So we'll just keep that perspective, and our hearts really go out to everyone right now.
Absolutely, and we're praying for everybody.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. This has been BMI Redefined with
Jen
and Mo.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time, everybody. Thanks for coming back.